discussed what now? What are the types of covalent bonds? Single bond, double bond and a triple bond. Now remember, single bond is also called as a saturated bond because both the electrons are satisfied. But in case of double and triple bond, we call them as unsaturated bonds because the oxygen and nitrogen will be ready to give those two electrons, will be ready to share those two electrons with some other atom as well. Okay children, so about that we'll be learning later. But remember, single bond, double bond, triple bond. Single bond is a saturated bond and whereas double and a triple bond is an unsaturated covalent bond. Now let us just have a brief discussion on what are the difference between the covalent bond and the ionic bond. Okay children, so now what is a covalent bond? As we all have learned, it is formed by the sharing of electrons. So how are these bonds formed? By the sharing of electrons. But how about a covalent ionic compound? They are formed by transfer of electrons. So either accept or donate. Fine. So since it is a sharing of electron, do we see any charge being attained by them? No. In case of your ionic bond, we all know that when sodium will donate, it will become a positive, and when chlorine will accept, it will become a negative. So you see that there are charged particles here, but here no charged particles, or we can say the atoms are not ionized. Okay, no charged particles. Here you will have the occurrence or the formation of charged particles. So like example, where sodium was without a sign, upon donating it becomes a Na plus ion. Similarly chlorine, this will give off and this will accept. So it becomes what? Chlorine minus a charged particle. Now since there are no charged particles, will it conduct electricity? No, not at all. They cannot conduct electricity. Okay. So that's why they are very poor conductors of electricity. Then coming to here, since they have the charged particles, these ionic compounds will conduct electricity. In the chapter metals and non-metals we have discussed earlier. So that's why they are what? They are good conductors of electricity. But then when are they good conductors? In molten state. In which state children? In molten state. And now these covalent bonds are very strong between the atom to atom. But between one molecule to another molecule, they are very weak. Okay. So intermolecular bonds are very weak. Bonds are weak. And this is the reason why they are able to exist in liquid, gaseous and solid states. And hence, since their molecular forces are very weak, they also have very low melting and boiling point. That's why they become vaporized very easily. Petrol, diesel, they start vaporizing, isn't it children? The reason is they have very low melting and boiling points. But here they have very strong intermolecular forces or intermolecular bonds. Ionic bonds are very strong. Hence, bonds are strong. Hence, what has happened? If you can recall, they have very high melting and boiling points. Okay, children? Fine. So, this is the reason they are having very high melting and boiling points. And one more point is, they dissolve only in these covalent compounds are soluble in which this one substances in the organic solvents. If you have seen, a petrol cannot dissolve in water, but a petrol can dissolve in kerosene. The dilution will be done for petrol and kerosene, isn't it? But a petrol cannot dissolve in water. So these covalent compounds will dissolve in the organic solvents. But these will dissolve in inorganic solvents, that is water or any kind of inorganic component, that sodium chloride, salts. Okay, so dissolve in water are soluble in inorganic solvents. And children, and one more point, Since they have strong intermolecular bonds, they preferably ionic compounds existing with state solid state. But these are mostly found in water, liquid and gaseous states. Even if they are found in solid state, they are very powdery or amorphous form. Exception is your diamond, but remaining all are very softer powdery. Okay, and the reason is due to low melting and boiling points. And why do they have those low melting and boiling points? Due to weak intermolecular bonds. So I hope you are now clear with all the differences, children. Okay, so if you know the differences, you can very easily identify the compound. And one more easy difference is the covalent compounds are preferable between a non-metal and a non-metal, whereas the ionic compounds are between a metal and a non-metal. Okay, children, this is another more difference. I hope you are clear with today's discussion. One is about types of covalent bonds and the other is about what, children? The difference between covalent and ionic. So the next session will discuss further more about the covalent compounds formed by the carbon. So hope you will revise it thoroughly and please kindly submit your art integration projects. Thank you. Have a good day.